Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Ash, and today I'm doing a review of The Gallery on Xbox. Now, this was released on the 15th of September 2022, developed by Aviary Studios, and I was lucky enough to get a copy of this game for review, so big thank you to them for that. Now, this game is a live action FMV game, one of those interactive film sort of games where you at points during the game you decide on certain things and how you want to react to the situation, and then that affects the story going forwards. Now, this one is a really interesting take on that sort of style, as it actually includes sort of two different stories, so two different interactive films are included. Now, they're both basically the same overall plot, which is an art curator is being held hostage by a portraitist who threatens to detonate a bomb, basically, unless all the demands are met. But one of them is set in 1981 with a female protagonist, and the other is 2021 with a male protagonist. And a lot of the characters, they sort of swap roles between both of them. But the basic sort of overarching sort of theme is the same. However, obviously there are differences in the time zones and stuff like that, and it's all sort of set around sort of socio-political unrest times in Britain. So obviously in 2021 it's not been the best of times, and in 1981 as well, like I say, it wasn't the best either. So it's interesting how it plays off each of those sort of time zones, and I like that, like I say, one of them was the female protagonist, one was the male protagonist. Give you a reason to play both of them. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of FMV games. I do enjoy them now and then, but normally they're just sort of one and done. There isn't a lot of reason to replay them, bar like odd slight changes. However, with the addition of the different time zones, there's at least a reason to sort of play both of them. And there's a lot that you can do in this game. So there are 150 different decision paths in the game, and there are 18 unique endings to unlock. So there's a lot to sort of interact with and change. Now, one thing I do like about this game, it has a relationship tracker mechanic. So depending on how you react to certain people, affects your relationship with them, which can then also affect how they sort of interact with the story at later points. And it also has a success/fail tracker of all the subplots with the supporting characters, which will obviously also affect the wider story as well. So it's not just like going left or right. If you say something to one person early in the game, it can have a bigger effect later on, which I thought was really cool. Now, one thing I do like as well, the standard gameplay is like a time choice. You've got like a time limit to give your response, but there is also a pause choices, which can either be used for sort of accessibility options if you need a bit more time to read and react, or if you happen to be like live streaming or something like that, it's a good way to have time to sort of interact with your chat and see what they want to do and stuff like that. So it's nice that both those options are there, but they don't really affect the game in any way. It just feels a bit more fluid when you're playing it on the time, because it cuts perfectly, so it doesn't feel stilted or like pause or anything like that, which I thought was really cool. Now, the casts in this were really good as well. Now, when I was playing it, I was like, this woman's been in something, and like the main female actress in it is Anna Popplewell, who a quick Wikipedia later, because I wasn't sure what she'd been in, was the girl in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe films, like the Chronicle of Narnia films. So she played like Susan in it. So I knew her face, but obviously back then she was like a teenager. So it's cool to see that they've doing something nowadays. And like I say, she does a really good role in it. I think she was the better sort of hero as such in the 1981 setting. I didn't think she was as good a villain as she was a hero, basically. And the guy who is George Blagden, who was from Vikings, he was a much better villain in the 1981. I honestly feel like while both stories are very similar, one's obviously more modern than the other, I do feel like the 1981 setting was the better playthrough, in my opinion. But the game is available, like I say, right now. It's playable on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S, and it's priced at £11.99. And you're going to get a fair few hours out of it easily. Like I say, each playthrough you're looking at about an hour and a half if you don't skip anything. So you're going to get about 3 hours of just sort of raw playthrough for just the once on each of the parts. And then obviously you can replay them and you can sort of skip bits and bobs on the second playthrough if you just want to see certain answers and certain things like that. So I highly recommend checking it out, though, if you do like your F&V games. It's one of the best ones I've played. It's probably the best one I've played in the last year or so. Better than some of the others I've done for achievements and stuff like that. So I highly recommend checking it out. Like I say, decent cast, decent production values and everything. And like I say, it does have that sort of accessibility pause option as well for people that may want that. But that's it for this video, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and we'll see you soon for more content. Bye for now.
As if by magic.